Raymond Vickery Jr. He's the former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce. Like I said, joining me also on the telecast is Captain James Fannell. I'll start with you, Mr. Vickery, about the state of affairs. What do you make of the campaign right now? Most importantly, we have taken a look at how Kamala Harris has been bringing in star power. There has been Beyonce, there has been, of course, Bruce Springsteen, who have been campaigning for her. Does this impact the voters' decision?
I think it's a dead heat. You can see polls on both sides, and as we know, polls have been wrong. So the polls missed it in 2016, they missed it again in 2020, but what's important, of course, is that showing that it's in the range of victory for either party. So that's the real situation, and one should not conclude that Trump has won already.
Now, what are the key issues, according to you, for an average American when he goes out to poll?
I think the basic issues are pretty well known. Trump has emphasized immigration very heavily. There is inflation, particularly at the grocery store, which has cut against Kamala Harris. Trump is an entertainer, and there is, of course, the implication of running against a woman, particularly a black woman, which is raised surreptitiously at all times. On the Democratic side, I think there's no question that the defense of democracy is a very salient point. So many of the Trump administration, his leading advisors have said that he is a fascist, that he has an authoritarian streak, and will try to rule without the usual constraints of democracy. So that's a salient point. Abortion is also very much at the forefront, particularly for many, many women. And indeed, Trump's treatment of women verbally and actually in terms of accosting them is a very salient point.
Right, absolutely. Now, as we were talking about the polls and the projections that Americans trust Trump more than Harris when it comes to the country's economy, will this help tilt polls in Trump's favor this time around?
Economy, of course, is a basic issue always in domestic politics, whether it be in India or in the United States. The inflation at the grocery store, as I've said, in gasoline, in regard to housing prices, are all salient issues. But the reality is that we have an economy in the United States which is the envy of the world right now. We've added more jobs than ever in the past. We've come in for the proverbial soft landing when many economists were predicting that what would happen is we would go into recession coming out of the pandemic. Stock market, even though it was down yesterday, is really at an all-time high. So the economy is very good overall. But the saliency of inflation for food, gasoline, and housing are issues that are going to cut in favor of Trump and against Kamala.
Mm-hmm. No, if polls are to be believed, Americans are unanimously favoring Trump's immigration policies. Now, his incendiary statements like immigrants eat Americans' cats and dogs. He's spoken about how America has become a garbage can because of immigrants that at this point of time are being allowed to infiltrate into the borders. That has not deterred Americans from supporting his immigration policy. Why is that?
I think that's a very good question. The reality is that we have been stressed by immigration. This is not just a phenomenon in the United States, but is worldwide. If you look at what's happening in Europe, immigration from the south to the north is caused by a number of factors. And this is unsettling to many. Unfortunately, Trump has been able to integrate this with the concerns which have historically been in the United States, which are racist in nature. And that has been the history from time to time, whether it was Irish immigrants or the Latin American immigrants that we have now. So it plays into basic fears which have been exacerbated by the language of Trump, that these immigrants are coming to get you, to eat your pets, to take your jobs, to murder you in your own home. None of these are true, but as has been shown in the past, if you exaggerate enough, you have the big lie, and pound it enough, there is a large portion of the populace who will believe in that.
Right, absolutely. Now, Kamala Harris's pro-abortion campaign has also resonated with a lot of American women. Do you think that will be enough for her to win the election?
Well, it certainly will be enough to make it very, very close. As I say, I don't think that there is a clear leader at this time, but it is also very apparent that among women who have been Republican voters in the past, that the question of individual freedom of the woman to be able to control her own body is very salient and very important. Now, until the overturning of Roe versus Wade, we did not have a situation in which abortion rights, the rights of women, freedom to choose, were actually at issue. Now they're at an issue across the country, and in extreme cases in many states, and that's energized women across.
Right, absolutely. It has energized women for sure and brought them and standing together in favor of Harris. Now, Democrats have also targeted Trump over his Ukraine plan for a peace deal. Do you think a foreign policy is going to really impact how the Americans vote?
Yes, I think that that's a part of it, but I don't believe that that's going to really deter many people from getting to the polls. We're going to have a great turnout. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be so close that we won't know what the election outcome is immediately, and that'll give scope for the conspiracy theories and the kinds of dislocations that we found on January the 6th, 2021, when a mob stormed the Capitol at the behest of Donald Trump.
Right, absolutely.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.